Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So Jay, I don't know. It looks like maybe Devin Haney has decided to upgrade his team. And I'm not saying that the gentlemen that is in his corner right now are not doing a good job. I mean, adding to when I say upgrade, because it looks like he's getting some additional training from someone who is well known and has been tied to one of the greatest defensive fighters in the game, or ever, if you will. And there may be some opportunity for him to shed some light on some of the things that he did in his camp, he being Floyd Mayweather. Now, we know this gentleman prides himself on being a defensive fighter, Devin Haney. And, you know, he's been compared to a young Floyd Mayweather, which, of course, I totally disagree with. But many compare him to a young Floyd. And I thought it would be beneficial for him. And I know that this was something that he was thinking about after the Ryan Garcia fight, of upgrading the people in his camp. And that makes a lot of sense, at least in my personal opinion, for Devin Haney, because I think he needs that assistance. I think he's a really good fighter, but an incomplete fighter. And all fighters have flaws, but I think Devin has the mind and the tools, the physical attributes and the tools to be a more complete fighter than what he currently is. So he's been working with Nate Jones. You sent over a little training videos to me, and we saw him recently training with Freddie Roach. I'm hoping that he brings some of these gentlemen into camp with him so that they can continue that tutelage, because what happens a lot of times is that fighters start to hear one voice, and that voice tells them that they are this and they are that, when in reality they're neither of those things. Jay, so what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed when that video they were practicing on blocking one thing, a left hook. That's like the main thing about that video that was put out there. So, I mean, at least he's learning. You know, that shows that he is learning that what his deficiency was, and trying to figure out why he kept getting caught by that left hook by Ryan. You know, prior to this video here, he was just like, yeah, it was, you know, the Austrian. That's all it was. But obviously, you know, it was something more to it than just that. Obviously, it knows you had a deficiency of blocking a left hook, and you did a video with showing Linares catching him with what, a left hook. So, I mean, this has been something that Devin has had issues with before. He just wasn't capitalized on by other fighters. So I appreciate the fact that he's going to Freddie Roach, going to Nate Jones, getting a little extra tutelage on that. To your point, I hope one of them is in camp with him as well, because he's going to need that additional tutelage in the camp, because just him doing this right now is not going to get rid of the habit he already had put into the years of training that he's already had in that way. You know, he needs Nate Jones to continuously watch him to make him be aware, hey, keep your hand up, keep your right hand up, keep your right hand up. You know, he's going to need that a little bit longer until it becomes like muscle memory, you know, because he has a bad habit keeping that right hand down, which is why he kept getting popped with that left hook. You know, one thing about Devin that I always appreciate about him was the fact that although he was getting beat in that fight, he kept getting up. He would not stop. So I love that fact, love that heart in him, and just that determination for him. You know, I didn't like the fact afterwards he was just so shook and just almost like he was about to go in a cave and disappear. You know, like he couldn't believe it. You know, couldn't figure out what was going on. You know, but obviously he's kind of come to grips like he knew he had a deficiency, getting it fixed, getting it worked on, which is great with Nate Jones. I mean, you're gonna go someone to teach you defense, work with someone that worked with Floyd Mayweather. That's the best thing for you right there. If you can't get Floyd, you get someone that work with Floyd to help you on that. So hopefully this shows into his next fight, whenever that may be.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think getting, you know, different perspectives on what it is that you're doing, and how you can approach different opponents, and how you can approach just your overall training and improving in that area, I think is good. I've said this for a while, and I was saying this in the Linares fight, and I know you remember this, and we didn't even have a channel at the time. I'm like, man, he's really good, but like I see these holes, I see the things that need to be changed. Like there's something missing there, right? Yeah, something missing there. And then, you know, you go over there and you have those performances against Cambosos, and then there's this explosion in terms of the support that people are giving you, and that the level of accolades and things like that they're giving you because of that performance. But we know that George Kambosos is a flawed fighter, and prior to that fight, we broke it down and said all you got to do is look at the Mickey Bay fight to see that this is going to be a very one-sided fight in favor of Devin Haney. And then he has a tough fight with Loma, so all of a sudden you see somebody with a higher level of skill that is getting the opportunity to really hit him and show some of those flaws again. And then he goes in there against Regis, and then the way that he just disposes of Regis, everybody's like, oh, he's a monster. But again, he looked Regis' previous performance would suggest he's tailor-made, and that's why it's like you're never as good as your best fight, you're never as bad as your worst. I say this all the time, and some of this is just purely styles make fights, matchmaking, etc.
Facts. I mean, to your point, like I think Devin had too many yes men in his corner, and he started believing the hype himself. He started believing like he was this untouchable being out there, and not realizing like, okay, I'm pretty good, but I got flaws. I got to work on my flaws more and more and more. But I think he believed the hype, and a lot of fighters do this. This ain't against just Devin. A lot of people, fighters, people in general, you start believing the hype, and then you get a dose of reality, and then it's how you bounce back from that dose of reality. Is going to be key for him. I think he can bounce back from this. I'm definitely eager to see him in his next fight because it's going to let you know, is this a mental block for him the way he got beat against Ryan? Or I know it was a no contest, y'all. Don't say, oh, it was no contest, it wasn't a loss. He got beat up in that fight. No contest or not, he got beat up in that fight with a left hook only. So, I mean, see how he bounces back from that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him come back. This is kind of encouraging with him working with Nate Jones.
Yeah. It's encouraging, and despite what people say about us, I have no ill feelings towards Devin Haney whatsoever. I think when you're critical of any fighter, and it's so interesting, man, because you can't have any level of criticism whatsoever. If it's any ounce of criticism, you are considered a hater, and I think it's just a generation of just being so damn sensitive about everything. That anytime you say anything about him, it's just an issue. But I think Devin's a really good fighter. I think there's holes in his game. I think he can improve on those holes, and I think he can be more formidable in a rematch with Ryan Garcia, regardless of what you think the outcome was and what impacted or influenced the results. I think at the end of the day, there's an opportunity for him to be better in the ring, not only against Ryan Garcia, but in the future as well overall. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out.